Hi, welcome back to Community Hotline. Thanks for staying tuned. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, so be sure to like us there. Now, we have with us what I consider a special treat. I love having the estimable, what's the right word there? Inimitable. Oh, inimitable. There you go. Inimitable.
I don't know if that's what you meant, but
that works.
4 syllables.
Yes, yeah, that's a lot. You've been on a few times before. I'm very happy to have you here from the Sandy Actors Theater and the Sandy Actor Readers Theater. And one of my favorite people in all of Gresham, Tobias Anderson. Very, very nice to have you here.
Thank you, Monica.
I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of actually interviewing you, so this is a real treat for me.
That's high time we did.
Yes, I think so too. So, Tim, maybe you can start for me and tell me a little bit about the theater and what you've got going on this year.
Well, this year we started a Readers Theater program here in Gresham. It's presented by Sandy Actors Theater, and that's something that was a sort of a takeoff from what Mount Hood Rep did when they were around, which Tobias was the artistic director of.
Yes, he was.
And he was one of the ones who actually encouraged us to go ahead with this. There were some people in Gresham who wanted something, some sort of theater to keep going after Mount Hood Rep had to close down. Tobias was the one who said, well, why don't you go up to Sandy and see whether they'll, take things over. So
we're all in kind of the same neck of the woods here. Yeah. It's East County.
Yeah.
So with his support and the contact from people in Gresham, that's what we've done this year. And we started in February. We are now on our 5th show, which will be June 20th, next Monday. And we're excited with how well it's gone.
It's been a rip-roaring success.
We have had just about full houses every time.
Isn't that great?
And I want to just say full houses when you have a couple chairs left.
Yeah, that's
pretty
close enough
close
for me.
to full
yeah,
house.
That's pretty close. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really good news. That's good for the community because East County is really trying to kind of set itself up as a hub for arts and culture, and and it really is. And we need in theater.
It's having a difficult time.
It is, but
I'm jumping in, but I'm really glad to see that Sandy took it over. Mount Hood Rep's Readers Theater is one of the most successful theaters, Readers Theaters program anywhere, both in Portland and East County. And we were hoping that the audience was still there, and it certainly is. So I'm grateful that Sandy Actors has taken it over, and they've done a terrific job of casting it, and producing it, and making sure the space was available. It's a terrific thing to do. Get away from the television, enjoy great literature, professional actors, and great community theater actors reading scripts to you. That's not bad.
It's pretty fun stuff.
Good way to spend an evening.
Yeah.
Well, you may think that, just saying reading scripts, well, anybody can do that. That's not quite true.
No.
And it's quite surprising when you don't have, a set, props, lights, all of that, how everything gets focused just on the actors. And
so they have to be that much better, don't they?
Yeah, but you hear the text so much, and I found that it's much easier to get involved in what goes on because there's an interplay between the audience and the actors, and they're right there with you, and you have to imagine a lot along with them. It's
kind of an intimate thing, isn't it, between the audience and the actors?
The phrase that's been used is theater for the ear.
I like that.
And it works well. Days of old radio, all of that.
So, Tobias, tell me a little bit about your role in this one.
Well, this play that we're doing is I Never Sang for My Father. It was by one of our more prominent playwrights, Robert Anderson, who wrote some other well-known plays, Solitaire, Double Solitaire, Tea and Sympathy. But I Never Sang for My Father is an interesting play for a lot of different reasons. When it came out, the reviews weren't that good, but the public liked it. And it has really never not been out of favor, so to speak. A lot of regional theaters have produced it. When it was first done, it was done with Hal Holbrook and Estelle Parsons. There was a revival just this last year in New York with Care Dulé. I never did know how to pronounce Dulé, who was, the astronaut in 2001, and it got rave reviews this time. So Time, I suppose, has treated it well. The play is about the themes will strike, even though it was written in '68. The themes are still prevalent. Older parents. What do we do with them, which actually dovetails into the next part of what Sandy Actors is doing. The father particularly, which is the role that I will be reading, a character of Tom Garrison, to me, he represents a generation in a way, not everybody in that generation, but a generation that has often had difficulty in expressing themselves emotionally. There's not much doubt that the character has loved his children, but he has no way that he can really express it. And I find this in my own life, some similarities between myself and my father, though he wasn't nearly as severe as this character could be. But people who came out of the Great Depression and the hardships that it often meant for lives in those days. And Tom's character was abandoned by his father, and he has never been able to come to grips with that, and consequently it affects his relationship with both his son and his daughter. The plot point is, of course, that the son, whose name is Gene, who's divorced, I believe, no, widowed, and he wants to remarry, and everybody in the family is in New York, but he wants to marry a woman that he has met in Los Angeles. And what happens to the parents, who are getting much, much older. And then eventually the mother dies before the second act starts, and he wants him to, he makes great effort to say, Dad, why don't you come out to LA and live with me? And of course the father has nothing to do with it, and they leave fairly well estranged. There's a lot of sadness in it. But the trick is for our audience to understand the humanity of this man. And that's what good theater does, is it takes us a look at who we are, where we've been, where we're going, what we might do to act differently. If nothing else, it's a simple act of understanding. It's valuable. It's valuable in the mind, it's valuable in the heart. The great John Gielgud used to call it breaking bread with the past. And it's a lovely thing to be able to do. So this is a terrific play, and I think our audience will really, really find it fascinating.
Do you find when you're acting, and I know you've acted for years and have been in numerous productions, do you bring a lot of yourself to those characters? Do you find that you draw on those past experiences in your life?
Well, some you do and some you don't, but yes, in this one I do. Oddly enough, I left home and my father's business to become an actor, and that was a fairly stormy leaving.
It's one of those professions that the parents probably think, oh my goodness, will I ever make it? And,
but my leaving and my father and I certainly happily reconciled. One the thing that really made him realize it was going to be okay was I did a Listerine mouthwash commercial. It was national. And it was all over the television, and so consequently, my dad thought I was going to be okay.
If you can be in a Listerine commercial, you're all right.
You can be on TV.
You can be on TV, all right, that's great.
You're
on TV, that's right, Tim, you've made it too, all right.
That's right.
That's great.
No, and you do bring, because when an actor is hired to play a role, you bring your own life's experiences to it. Even if you're playing a dark-eyed villain, you need to find something that resonates with you.
Everybody's got a little something in there they can.
The audience pays to see you do that role, this actor do that role, not that role, but to see the actor doing that role. So what you bring to it is what matters.
Tim, this season has been dedicated to Bob Rent. Is that correct? Tell me a little bit about Bob and what's going on. And then, Tobias, I'd like you to touch on that too.
Well, Bob was strong influence in Sandy Actors Theater, plus other theaters that he worked in. And certainly he's had a great influence on a number of people that were still involved. In fact, I have to say that the reason I got involved in Sandy Actors Theater is because of Bob. He was my first introduction
Nice.
to that. But in beginning Readers Theater, Bob was very supportive. All our meetings started out at his house. And I knew that one of Bob's, well, I would say his signature role was Tom Garrison in I Never Sang for My Father, which he had done at Playhouse in Vancouver. And the role just fit him to a T. So honestly, in choosing this as one of our plays this season, I was thinking, you know, it's giving Bob his chance to do it one more time. And unfortunately, Bob did not stay with us that long, and he passed away in January. So right before we started our season. So we've dedicated the whole season to Bob, but particularly this play.
Nice. I bet it's left a huge void in the whole group and in the theater world in this community. So Tobias, you knew Bob quite well.
I lost one of my very dearest friends in January.
I'm sorry.
Bob was he was one of the best, sense of humor, very intelligent, and you know, a man who had done a lot of different things in his life and always done them with passion. And he discovered theater later in life. I'm a pro. He was a community theater actor. Didn't make any difference. He was just passionate about it and talented. And I was honored to be able to speak at his memorial. And I said, you know, I'd seen Bob do a lot of different parts. I directed him in a couple of things, Readers Theater and all of that. But when he latched onto this role, I just sort of watched this. It was terrific because it was like an actor who had been doing it for a long, long time. He saw that role and he recognized something in it that meant something to him. And what it ignited is that thing that always ignites in us is he wanted to share that insight, that understanding with an audience. And he did. He was terrific in Vancouver. It was like he took another step up with what he'd been doing. And I was... he would have been wonderful in this reading. He'd been wonderful if you'd ever gotten a full production of it at Sandy.
So now you've stepped in.
Well, I'm honored to do it. You know, and he will not be. He will be there in my thoughts when we're doing it, which is on
June 20th.
June 20th.
And I
Monday,
think you'll be watching.
June 20th.
Monday, June 20th. Okay, and we're almost out of time. This has gone really, really fast. So Monday, June 20th, and where is this going to be located?
At the Gresham Historical
Same thing,
Museum,
okay.
Downtown Gresham,
Good.
7 p.m.
Okay.
We
And
only
is it
do-
one performance?
We only do
One
one
performance.
So
Yeah.
be there or
Yes, be there, and I would suggest come early too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go out to some of our nice little restaurants
Yeah, there are some great
downtown
ones
and come
downtown.
down
Yes,
and
there are.
see a piece of theater, Greshamites, these county folks, because it's there for you.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll be coming back in the next segment to talk about some more programs that you have going on.
Yes.
But anything else you want to add before we go here?
Yes, there is, but I
But we'll
want to
save
make
it for the
sure
next
we
segment.
have enough time.
I'll add a quick one if I may.
Okay,
And
sure.
that is Tim and Bob and Sharon Rent, his widow now, and other good people have really taken Sandy Actors Theater, and they're really doing good work out there. They've remodeled essentially that theater. It's a lovely place to go. So when you're not watching the Readers Theater on Monday nights, you should be taking in their plays as well.
Okay, good.
Live theater.
Nice plug.
East County.
Yes,
Good
and we
job.
will talk more of that in
Okay,
our next
good,
segment.
good. Thank you both. Thank you, Tobias.
my
Thank you,
pleasure.
Tim.
Thank you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. Tim will stay with us, and we will have Lexi joining us to talk about another program that is going to be coming up from the Sandy Actors Theater. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Remember, you can take part in the discussion online. Visit our blog and tell us about your experiences at communityhotline.wordpress.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Facebook page too. You can see what's going on behind the scenes, find out about fun contests we're running, and link to some of the great organizations that have been on at facebook.com/communityhotline Metro East. See you online.
¿Están listos?
Free GED classes.
Are you ready? Clases gratis de inglés.
Yo estoy lista.
Transportation for free.
I'm ready.
Clases gratis de computación. ¿Qué listos?
We're ready.
Come to Listos. If we can do it, you can do it.
What am I supposed to do with all these corks?
Turn them into a corkboard.
What about all these floppy disks?
How about a fantastic journal?
I wouldn't learn how to make cool things like that.
Well, come on down to Scrap. Scrap has monthly workshops where you too can learn how to make great things. We provide everything you need. For more information, call 503-294-0769 or go to www.scrapaction.org. Scrap. Create more, consume less.
Many people are aware of the problems of hunger and poverty, but few realize how severe these issues are in East County. Every winter we find hungry and homeless people on our streets. Here at Snowcap, we combat these problems by bringing together the people who have with those who have not. Snowcap is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving the needs of low-income persons living in the East Metro area. With the help of community members and the support of local businesses, Snowcap feeds over 4,000 people per month and distributes clothing to more than 1,000 people per month. You can help Snowcap by donating your time, donating food or clothing, or making a financial contribution. To find out more, contact Snowcap at 503-674-8785 or on the web at www.snowcap.org.
Hi, welcome back to Community Hotline, and thanks for staying with us and joining us tonight. We're happy to have you here. We just finished talking with Tim Park and Tobias Anderson from the Sandy Actor Readers Theater, and we're back. We kept Tim here. We wouldn't let him go away, so Tim, thanks for staying with us. And we added to our show tonight Lexi Dillon. Lexi, I'm very happy to have you here.
I'm delighted to be here.
Good. Now, before I talk to you, Tim, we're so busy talking on the last segment, we didn't have time to kind of finish up. I want to find out what's the future of the Sandy Actor Readers Theater? What's going on with that?
The Readers Theater we had planned sort of as an experiment to see how, what the response would be.
Sure.
And we were very pleased that at our last show we were able to say that we have decided that we're able to go on for a full season.
Nice.
Next year, so there will be a season starting in the fall. 7 plays that will go from October until May. We have just a absolutely wonderful season planned. I'm just going to name them real quickly.
You got the lineup for us already.
The Sunshine Boys by Neil Simon, Heroes by Tom Stoppard, Harvey by Mary Chase, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, The Gin Game by D.L. Coburn, Enchanted April by Matthew Barber, and The Hasty Heart by John Patrick.
Nice.
Which are, our theme next year is Friends, Thick and Thin.
This one was family ties, and this season. So
it's
Friends
friendship next season. We always are on the third Monday of every month at 7 p.m. at the Gresham Historical Museum.
And so you'll be at the same place
With one
next
exception.
year. Okay.
We are not doing a performance in December because it's
holidays.
Just too busy.
Yeah, yes, I can understand that. That's perfect. Good deal. Well, it's nice to know you'll be in the same location too, at the same time. That's good. Okay, that's exciting. So, we have one. Now we're going to talk about the Sandy Actors Theater. So
Yes.
this was the Raiders Theater, which is actually in Gresham.
Yes.
The Sandy Actors Theater is in Sandy, Oregon.
I should say one more thing.
Okay.
To make that clear, we have adjusted our name a little bit.
Okay.
So rather than Sandy Actors Readers Theater, we're calling it Readers Theater Gresham.
Oh, okay. So next year that will be
Presented by
starting in the
Sandy
fall.
Actors Theater.
Ah, lovely. Okay, that will help a little bit because it is a little bit confusing. Okay, so tell me about the Sandy Actors Theater. Lexi, how long have you been involved with that?
This is actually my second production, although I've come to the theater to help with candy sales and cookie sales
Oh,
during.
there you go.
But this is really my second production that I've been involved,
Okay.
although I've been attending for a number of years.
Wonderful. And Tim, the Sandy Actors Theater has been around how long?
Since 1976, in some
time.
form or another.
It's
Yes.
a long time. That's a pretty darn successful run, I'd say.
Yes, every year it is a challenge. We will always love to have more people
Yeah,
come, and
sure.
it is really worth it in the communities that we have. It's surprising that we can do the quality of theater that we are able
Makes
to
you proud,
do.
though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about this this new show. Who wants to tell me about
Well, I'll start
assisted
off,
living?
and then I'm going to give
Okay,
it over
all
to
right.
Lexi.
Okay.
The present show that's being done right now is assisted living. It may sound a little bit heavy as far as its topic, but it is a very funny show, and it's extremely well acted. We had a review in the Oregonian on Monday, which just
Which was fabulous, was it
floored us
not?
all, which
Yes,
was great.
yes.
Very good
We're
reviews.
very delighted.
I'm
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
And it is about, a family trying to decide what to do with their mother, who is beginning to show signs of Alzheimer's. And she is a cantankerous, curmudgeonly lady who
And these are the
does
good
not
qualities,
mince
right?
words and says it right in your face.
I love it.
And Lexi is the one who
Yes.
plays this
I'm the
lady.
one
You
that
are
gets
the
to play it, yes.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before the show. I asked you, about this role, and you said it was. How did you describe
Well,
it?
it really is a role that I think most actresses would love to play because she's just this wonderfully rich character. She's extremely independent, but she's witty and funny and feisty, and it's a wonderful role. It's
While
just
being
a wonderful
curmudgeonly
role.
and cantankerous,
Yes,
yes.
I didn't
yes.
mean it to come out quite as negative.
Well, yes. And as Tim was saying, although the story is about someone who has beginning stages of Alzheimer's, it's more than that. It's about what does a family do with that aging parent that really can't take care of themselves anymore, and how do they handle that? What do they do? It could be anything.
Well, it's similar to the I never sang for my father.
Right.
There are some
Exactly. There are
similarities.
some similarities.
and,
Yes.
and we, are all dealing with that. I think,
Yes.
at least people my age, are
Right.
dealing with those kind of things, and it can be difficult to
Right.
make those decisions.
I mean, for me, it's even, okay, so now what do I need to tell my kids about what they should do with me
There you
if I
go.
get
When
to
you
that
get to that,
point?
yeah.
So,
When and if, yes.
I
so that you
hear
can
Rose
get
coming out already. Rose is the name
exactly.
Oh, okay.
So that you can just look at it from all different kinds of things. And the play is an original script by a doctor who worked in gerontology for a number of years. So he's very familiar with what happens at that point.
Sure.
And
That's
he
interesting.
It's
that,
very
that a
interesting.
doctor would
Right.
have done that. Yeah.
And he's, I personally love the script. I'm personally encouraging all my friends to come and see it, which is not something that I always do.
Yeah.
But I find the script itself very well written.
Good.
And it's all presented very well. And Rich was at a talkback this Sunday.
Rich Rubin.
Rich Rubin,
That's
the
the
author.
author,
The
the
author,
playwright.
yes. And he was saying that the character of Rose sort of took over and, dictated what he was going to write. And I've heard other playwrights say the same thing, that sometimes there's a character that takes over and the author just can't say no. He just has to put this in the way that character is speaking.
Now, have you already performed this?
Yes,
Okay.
last weekend, but it's going on for the next 4 weekends.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee, The last performance is July 2nd, so there will
Okay.
not be a matinee that day.
And the playwright, has he seen your production?
Yes.
And what
He's
was his
very
reaction?
pleased.
Is
Very
he pleased?
pleased, yes.
Good.
He's pretty much ecstatic. He's
Is he?
been so pleased
Good,
with,
good.
you know, all that has happened as far as developing it, and it's still somewhat a work in progress.
Right, that's what he
because,
says.
This is the West Coast premiere
Oh, really?
of this play, so
Now, is he from here? Or is
Well,
he?
he was
he
a
lives in Portland now.
Now.
Oh, okay.
He had his practice in New Mexico.
Right.
And this play, however, is set
In
New York, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The characters
okay.
are New York.
Okay.
All right.
But he and his wife both came, I think, from New York.
Yes,
or
I
New
believe
Jersey.
so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They're definitely from the East Coast.
How big
so
is the cast? Is it a small cast?
It's something about nine,
Nine
something
people?
like that.
Okay.
Right. So it really revolves mainly around Rose and her two children. One is Ben and one is Sandy, and their significant others. And there's also a relationship then with Rose and the grandson,
Oh, okay.
which is a very close
I imagine
relationship.
this kind of a play would have a lot of different emotions
It
coming
does.
out in it.
Yes.
Is it? Do you think
Yes.
it's mostly sad? Is it mostly funny? Is it just
Rich
everything?
has been it's everything, and Rich has been very careful to make it so that as an audience member, when you leave, you're going to be very satisfied. You're not going to be sad and depressed.
Yes. Good.
You're actually going to be satisfied with the end of this play.
Does it make you think?
Yes,
Yeah,
it'll make
yeah,
you think. But Rose leaves the stage, her grandson asks her, are you ready? And she says, am I ready? You know me, whatever they throw at me, I just whack it back to them, just like in, whatchamacallit, hockey, So, this is how she leaves the stage at the end of the play. So this is positive. This is not everyone crying and upset.
So Lexi, just that little snippet was good. Can you do a little monologue for us from
Okay.
that? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind. And so this is a monologue which takes place. She's just been examined by a doctor to determine just how far along she is in the disease of Alzheimer, and whether she has the ability to really decide whether or not she can stay where she's living. So the doctors just asked her how she sees about things, and she says, how I see life? Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you how I see it. Life is full of a lot of what ifs. And some people, they live their lives so afraid of every little what if. Well, they live like a turtle, and their teeny heads never coming out of their shells. But that's not me. That's never been me. Look, I may not know what $1 minus whatever is, but look, I know I could fall down. I know I could get sick. I know someone could even break into my apartment, 2 locks and all. But I also know if they put me into some stinking nursing home, that'll really kill me. Because you know what happens when you get thrown overboard, Phil? When you get thrown overboard and you don't feel like swimming anymore, you drown. That's what.
Wow. I love it, yes. Nice job, Lexi.
Boy.
Nice job.
So Rose is
I'm wrapped up in that one.
Rose is just one of these characters who it just takes over, and the play really revolves
I
around
like
her.
strong
Strong,
female
very
characters
strong,
like
very
that.
strong.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
yes.
great. That's great. It seems like it'd be a very fun role.
It is. It's lots of fun.
And the play is very fun to watch
Yeah.
and to be a part of. And you identify with a number of the other characters,
Right.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you could probably, just going back through your life, whether you're young or old, and it's something to look forward to, or something that you can remember from your past.
Right.
The grandson or the kids or
Exactly.
Yeah, I should.
Rose herself.
When I saw it on Sunday afternoon, which I've seen it 2 or 3 times now, but as we were leaving, there were a number of ladies of an older age.
Yes. Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I'm going to adopt that grandson."
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
It
that's
ends
great.
very positively.
Oh, good,
Yes.
good.
Yes,
That sounds
it
like a
does.
delightful play. I
So
hope
it
I can
really
get to see
is.
that. That sounds wonderful. So, what's coming up next for the Sandy Actors
Well,
Theater?
we should, of course, bring up that we have another season.
Okay.
We are going strong still.
That's great.
And we have a pretty strong lineup. We have 5 plays that we do every season in Sandy. Each one of these is done 4 or 5 weeks at a time. So,
so there's
they
several
go
opportunities
on.
if you miss it. You can.
Yes, starting in September, the first showing is of Bill W. and Dr. Bob, which is the story of the founders of AA. A very, very strong, affecting
I bet that
piece. And I'm sure there will be a lot of people that will relate. Whether you've had any experience with AA or not, the whole idea of dealing with a struggle in your life and
I think
overcoming.
most people either, if they haven't dealt with it themselves, there's somebody in their life, or they're aware of somebody that's dealt with that. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. The second one, which we'll do right before Christmas, is A Tuna Christmas.
Oh, that's so fun.
Which has been done
seen
in
a production
Portland in
of
the
that,
past,
yes,
but we were very pleased to be able to get the rights to do it here.
Lovely.
It's a 2-person play where these 2 men play about 20 different parts.
It's hilarious.
And it is
I look.
a
That would be
hilarious
fun.
play.
I bet you'll put a great spin on it.
Yes, it should be really a lot of fun.
Okay.
Then the next one we're doing is Marvin's Room, which is
yeah,
the Reader's Theater that we did
That's right. Yeah, you just
our
said
last month, and it's a play that I really like about a woman who's facing her own struggles with disease, but finds that it's more important to show love to others, and that's where she really finds meaning and the
lovely.
strength to go on. It is a beautiful play, and it is a funny play too.
Good. And we're almost out of time, so quickly
Yeah,
tell me the
A
rest of
Barrel
them.
Full of Pennies by John Patrick,
Okay.
who wrote The Curious Savage,
Okay.
which we just
She did
finished
that one,
doing.
yes,
Also,
yes.
a little bit like You Can't Take It With You, a zany family.
Okay.
It's a great show. And then the last one is Rabbit Hole, which is a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Oh.
It has a serious theme, some very funny parts, though, about a couple dealing with the death of their son, but doing it in a way and learning to come together and cope and support each other.
Lovely, lovely. Some great themes, going through this. The family is a huge part of it. Well, we are out of time. Thank you both so much, Lexi and Tim, for being on here. You sound like you have a fabulous season, that you've had and you have coming up, so I'm very excited for that. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. Don't forget, we're on Facebook. We have a Community Hotline blog, and we're here every Wednesday night, and we replay throughout the week. So be sure to go to metroeast.org and you can find our schedule there. Well, this is Monica Weitzel. I've enjoyed having you joining us tonight. This is Community Hotline. Remember, you can take part in the discussion online. Visit our blog and tell us about your experiences at communityhotline.wordpress.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Facebook page, too. You can see what's going on behind the scenes, find out about fun contests we're running, and link to some of the great organizations that have been on at facebook.com/communityhotline Metro East. See you online.